It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
West guys, 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 West guys. These guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports, live here on this Friday, September the 25th. Another day on the Wise Guys show on the Worldwide Sports Network with my co-host, Mr. Clarence Nixon. Mr. Nixon, happy Friday to you, brother.
Man, thank you, man. It's finally here. And happy Friday to you, bro, man. It's finally here. I'm so excited for Friday, but it's about to be a jam-packed show today, baby.
Yes, sir, man. We got an action jam-packed show. We're going to talk about NFL Week 3. We're going to give y'all our predictions. We're going to break down a few of these games. We got Packers, Saints. My man Aaron Rodgers leading my Green Bay Packers 2-0 down to the Big Easy against Drew Brees and the Saints. And then we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys going up against Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Also, we got that AFC Showdown Monday night, Clarence. I can't wait for it. We got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, Mark Ingram, John Harbaugh, Andy Reid. Get your popcorn ready. We're going to talk about all that tonight on the show. Y'all see all this? We got plenty of stuff we got to talk about. So let's get into it, Clarence. Let's get right to it, bro. Let's not waste no games tonight. Let's talk about, on a lighter note, something that just took place. I believe this took place Wednesday. The officers that were involved in in Breonna Taylor's, her death, they weren't charged, and we are labeling this segment as America Under Protest. And I know I was just hyped up about some sports, but Clarence, for a few minutes here, let's get serious. Let's talk about what took place. As they did not charge these officers with Breonna Taylor's death. I believe they charged one of the officers with shooting inside of a neighboring building or something like where he was shooting inside of a building. One officer, he was neighboring apartment. Yeah, one officer was charged with, shooting into a neighboring apartment. And so the officers were not charged for Breonna Taylor's death. So Clarence, before we get into our sports, today it's only right to talk about Breonna Taylor and her situation. What was your reaction when you found out that none of these officers were charged with the murder of Breonna Taylor?
It was disgusting to me, Trey. It was disgusting for the simple fact that she still hasn't seek justice. And people saying things, and, memes coming out, and people claim there's other reports coming out about the situation. But to be honest, she didn't seek justice. She was killed in her own home, and it's devastating. It's devastating that her family didn't get no justice. They got they got the money. They got the money for them, but that's still not enough. It's not enough, and it's crazy for the simple fact her killer's been walking around for months, and they still basically have their job. That just shows you it's systematic. It's just messed up. It's oppression, towards the black folks. And me, I don't really get into the politics though, but it's just sad that people believe that she was with a thug. They called her boyfriend a thug. That's the only thing they basically saying. She shouldn't marry no thug in no situation. But what that have to do with her dying? And how we know for sure her boyfriend was a thug? He probably was a thug back in his past. He probably changed his life around, or maybe she was messing with a guy that was into that. But it should be no situation that police break into your house and start shooting up the thing like it's a supreme party or something, man. It's ridiculous, man. Justice needs to be served. $12 million is not enough. $12 million is not enough, Trey.
It certainly isn't. And, I've been talking about this case involving Breonna Taylor, for a while, Clarence. I talked about this, a few months ago on our show. I think we'll be in September. I think probably around July or August. You remember we talked about this. It might have been around June, like early part of the summer, because in the immediate aftermath of the George Floyd situation that took place in Minnesota, I said Breonna Taylor's situation in Louisville is not getting enough attention. Like, no one is talking about Breonna Taylor. And Clarence, that's where the whole say her name came from, because everybody was talking about George Floyd. We talked about the kid in Georgia that got shot by those guys, when he was jogging. I can't think of his name. It's been so many. Who I'm talking about, the brother in Georgia?
Yeah, he was jogging in the park.
Was it? I can't think of it, man. I can't think of his name.
Oh man,
I can't think of it, man. Oh, Arbery. I think it was Ahmaud Arbery, something like that. But that situation took place in Georgia, and they were talking about that. They weren't talking about the Breonna Taylor situation like they should have been. Like, I felt like it wasn't getting enough attention, and I didn't like it. And I felt like the Louisville Police Department tried to sweep this under the rug, and they gave this officer a charge called neighboring an apartment, shooting into a neighboring apartment. So you give him a charge. Yeah, you give him a charge for shooting into a building, but you don't give him a charge for shooting Breonna Taylor. Make that make sense for me. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what they are trying to sell us, I'm not buying, and the rest of us African Americans, we're not buying it no more. Like, enough is enough. And like, we got to start looking at the laws too, because like across the country, they have stand your ground laws. They have your license to carry laws. And Kentucky is one of those states that have both laws, to where you can stand your ground and they have license to carry laws. And
carry too.
Yeah, and so but then here's the thing: with this no knock warrant that these officers were given, to be able to go into her house without knocking, because they claim they knocked on her door when they went there. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it, because everyone that was there said they didn't hear the police identify themselves. They didn't hear them knock on the door at all. They just basically forced their way into Breonna Taylor's apartment. So, the whole story is all over the place. Like, they said they had a no-knock warrant. So if you had a no-knock warrant, why would you identify yourself? You never identified yourself. So here's the thing. If you don't identify yourself, you open yourself up to these kind of situations. Kenneth Walker, I think that was Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. When they entered his home, like any other man that's protected his home, he shot back. And but here's the thing. You are allowed to stand your ground in Kentucky. Yeah. You're allowed to carry a firearm, if you have a license to carry it. You know what I mean? So these situations could happen in the future if we don't fix the laws that are in place. If you have a no-knock warrant, that means another officer can burst into an individual's house or apartment, and guess what? They are going to protect their home. It's 12 o'clock at night. You bursting into my house, I'm gonna feel like you are endangering me and my family. And that's how Kenneth Walker felt. And then they had the nerve to try and charge Kenneth Walker. When the situation happened that day, Clarence, they arrested Kenneth Walker. They had the nerve to arrest this man after they just shot and killed his innocent girlfriend who was sleeping in her bed. It is amazing how this whole entire situation has transpired. And it shows us why we have so much more that we have to do in order to have these things fixed. And like, Breonna Taylor deserved better. She deserved better, and justice was not served in this situation. But we can't let up. I love the fact that we got the NBA players, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Melo. We got so many players that speak up about these issues. Donovan Mitchell too. He put up a tweet, in the immediate aftermath of the decision to not charge these officers with the murder of Breonna Taylor. Donovan Mitchell, shout out to him. He went on Twitter, and he played at the University of Louisville, so he's very connected to that community. He went on Twitter and he talked about how, we won't change. We can't give up. And he's spoken out about these issues before, and I really appreciate all our athletes that continue to speak up. But again, I'm gonna say this again, and I said it before on previous shows, Clarence. We need those white athletes to speak up on our behalf. That's what we're gonna have. We need for change. That's what we're gonna need. We're gonna need Drew Brees. We need Aaron Rodgers. We need J.J. Watt. We need even these white players in the NBA. We need Luka Doncic. We need Porzingis. We need these white individuals who aren't dealing what we're dealing with to also speak up against these issues that we're dealing with. Then we'll have change.
Definitely. That was a powerful speech from you, though, Trey. We need everybody to come along and gather together so we can make the change and it can possibly happen. That's why, people always go out and say, vote, go vote. You want change, then be the change. If you don't vote, then it won't make no change. Like, believe it or not, it was 2 million people that didn't vote, too many Black people that didn't vote last year that should have voted if they're fighting for change. So that is a process that needs to be like in play so we can make a difference for it. But justice needs to be served for Breonna Taylor. Murder is murder.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Benjamin Franklin said it best. He said, justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are affected. That is real. That's the real quote. That's what I'm talking about when I say, Clarence, these white athletes, we need them to speak up about the issues that we're dealing with in our country. We need these white entertainers to speak up about the social injustices that us African Americans are enduring in our country each and every day. And it's just sad that Breonna Taylor didn't get the justice that she deserved. And it just amazes me how you can charge this man with shooting into a neighboring apartment. So we care more about buildings than we care about individuals' bodies and them surviving. You know what I mean? Like, you shot this woman 6 times. 6 times a life was taken far too soon. This was a woman that was an EMT. She had a promising future ahead of her. And I listened to her mom and her family talk about, the kind of person that she was and, what she was trying to accomplish. This was a situation that is sad. And I really feel like someone needs to give us some answers. Someone has to, deal with this and take more of a responsibility and the blame here. And it's just unfortunate because we're not going to get the justice that we need for this situation. But like I said, man, it's just we got to look at some of these laws, because when you have laws like the Stand Your Ground law, and you have laws when you are licensed to carry a weapon, but you have no knock warrants getting issued to these officers, this is an issue that could happen moving forward, Clarence. This might not be the first time where an individual, gets gunned down in their own home innocently because police just barging into people's homes. You see what I'm saying? You got to evaluate the laws. Like, what did you really expect going into these, Breonna Taylor's and her boyfriend's apartment? What did you expect was going to happen? You thought it was going to be a peaceful situation? You thought you were going to be able to peacefully go in there and arrest these 2 individuals who actually were innocent? Because I don't know if you read it up on it, Clarence. They were looking for Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend. This wasn't her current boyfriend. This was her ex-boyfriend, and they went to the wrong address. So because you went to the wrong address and you are unprofessional at doing your job, now Breonna Taylor and her family has to deal with the tragedy of her passing away and getting killed innocently, like getting killed, like come on now, like this is unbelievable, man. It's crazy stuff, man. It's just crazy.
I've been deleting a lot of racist people because they believe that the boyfriend was a thug, and I'm like, you don't understand, and that just showed me like, wow, so you've been like undercover for a long time. I just had to delete them. Had to get them out of here.
The boyfriend ain't have nothing to do with it. They was looking for her previous boyfriend. I don't, like I said, you got to read up on the story. I know you probably already have, but these other individuals, that are racist, they don't care to read up on the story. They don't care at all. They just, they could care less. So that's the thing. Like, some people, you got to know the facts. They weren't looking for Kenneth Walker. They were looking for a previous boyfriend because they thought that he was having like a drug trafficking situation going on at her home, and they were at the wrong address because he wasn't even living there no more. So this is just a crazy situation, and it's unfortunate that Breonna Taylor's life had to be taken away from her so tragically, man, because, I get close to shedding tears about it, Clarence, for real, because it could have been anybody. Like, and the way those officers, barricaded themselves into her home, whoever was there, like, they could have been killed and gunned down. Because I'm surprised Kenneth Walker survived. I was surprised he survived. As many bullets that was shot in her home that night, like, I would have thought everyone in that apartment would have been killed. That's how reckless these 3 officers were when they inserted Breonna Taylor's home. It is a tragedy, and it's unfortunate that she's not going to get the justice that she deserves. But we got to continue the fight, and we got to continue to talk about these things and use our platforms like we're doing right now, and continue to, bring awareness to these things that are going on.
Yeah, big facts. Like this right here is an ongoing conversation that we gonna be seeking justice for until Breonna Taylor to get her justice.
For sure. Let's move on, man. Let's talk about some NBA, and let's talk about some sports, man. Let's talk about the Western Conference Finals that took place last night. The Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets 114-108, took a commanding 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals. For the Lakers, Anthony Davis dropped 34 points, 5 rebounds. LeBron James had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. For the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray led the way with 32 points, 8 assists. And Nikola Jokic had 16 points, 7 rebounds. So, Clarence, opening topic of the day on the sports side. After pulling off the upset in Game 3, what went wrong for the Nuggets in Game 4?
Well, everything that went wrong is your other star only had 16 points. And he couldn't get into a groove of scoring because he can't handle the physicality. Like I've been watching this series. Dwight Howard has been giving him the physicality that he needs to be around. You know what I'm saying? Like Nikola Jokic is like he's a skilled player, but he's not that aggressive when he's playing with an aggressive player. But Dwight Howard did a good job, defending him. And AD was just on fire, Trey. Like, start the game off 6 for 6, like 35 points. Like, people keep questioning, like, how come he only got 5 rebounds? Like, it doesn't matter at this point if he only got 2 or 3. Like, if he's dominating on the scoring side, I mean, that's the go-to move. That's honestly like the go-to move. But 5 rebounds, yeah, that's something that you don't want to have every game, but life goes on, whatever. And LeBron James almost had a triple-double, second straight triple-double. I think he just been doing fine, like balancing out the team. And they looked like the better team out here. And we expected, like, LeBron at least to go 3 games to 1. And they're showing it right now why they're the best team in the NBA.
Yeah, they definitely are. And as I watch this game, Clarence, even though the Lakers were the superior team and they are the superior team in this series, I give the Nuggets a lot of credit because the Nuggets, they stayed close in this game. I mean, the Lakers really didn't pull away in this game. And every time the Lakers went on a run, the Nuggets went on a run. But every time the Nuggets pulled within 1 or 2 points, the Lakers would go up like 6 or 7 points. And here the Nuggets come back again. We know the Denver Nuggets are the comeback kids, of the NBA because they've been the comeback kids of the NBA bubble, so far in the playoffs. The largest lead the Lakers had last night was 12, and basically the Nuggets, every time the Lakers, made a run, the Nuggets got right back into the game. But Anthony Davis was the best player last night on the floor. And you mentioned it. He had 34 points, shot 10 of 15 from the floor, went 13 of 14 from the free throw line. So he did a great job of inserting himself offensively for the Lakers. And I told you, coming into this playoffs, I said, if Anthony Davis asserts himself and he's aggressive, it's over. You can book the Lakers winning a championship. It will happen. LeBron James will win his 4th NBA championship because when Anthony Davis has it going, he is unstoppable. He can pull up from 3-point range. He can shoot the mid-range shot. He can get to the free throw line and hit his free throws at an elite rate. He is a great force defensively as well for the LA Lakers. And that's also, you mentioned it a little bit too, that was the difference last night, in the game as well, because Nikola Jokic, he wasn't really effective last night. Like, he only had 16 points. And what did he have? What did he go from the floor? 6 of 13, which isn't bad, but he just wasn't, as dominant as he's been in previous series. That's because the Lakers have great defensive bigs like Dwight Howard. You saw last night that Frank Vogel inserted Dwight Howard into the Lakers starting lineup. That changed, the game because that made Jokic have to work harder for his points. I think the difference in this series is, and we talked about it coming in, the Lakers have the personnel to match up with the Joker. They got Dwight Howard. They got JaVale McGee. They got Anthony Davis, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So I think that's been the difference, so far in this series. And the Joker has had games in this series where he's played well because he's a great player. But last night, I just felt like his impact wasn't as big as it's been in previous games and other previous series. So I think that was a difference in game 4 for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think like Nicole, like Jokic, like you said, he wasn't aggressive enough. He wasn't aggressive enough. Only taking 13 shots yesterday. And this time of the day in this series, you need more from him. Like Jamal Murray is playing phenomenal. He's playing like top guard in the league. Like
he brought it. He came ready to play.
And I said it too, like he got at least score. Like I said at least he needs to score like 40 points though. But him being the lead scorer though, that's something he has to do because he's a great scorer and he's tough physically and mentally, and he's always giving them a bucket, always a go-to bucket, always fighting with a bucket. Like this guy right here is just dominant.
Yes, he is. And I want to give some credit to some of these Lakers role players too. Like I can't say enough about the job that KCP has done. Stepping up as that third consistent scorer. He has hit perimeter shots when the Lakers have needed him to do it. And also, man, someone else who's had a major impact, and we underestimated how important he is to this team. That's Rajon Rondo. Playoff Rondo is a real thing. Okay, last night Rondo had 11 points, but he had 7 assists. So what Rondo does, he comes into the game and he helps LeBron James because he can spell LeBron from all the ball handling duties. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what Rondo brings to the table, and he can facilitate the offense and put others in a position to be successful. And he creates those opportunities for those shooters on the outside to shoot the ball like Danny Green, like KCP, like Kyle Kuzma. So the impact that Rajon Rondo has had on this Lakers team since he came back from his injury has been something that we have to look at as been the difference so far in these playoffs for the Lakers, because he's the facilitator for this team, and he gives LeBron James a chance, to catch his breath. LeBron has a lot of responsibility. Rajon Rondo helps LeBron and spells him to take some time away, off the ball. And even if he's out of the game, the offense can still flow if Rajon Rondo is running the show offensively. So I can't say enough about the job that Rajon Rondo has done for the Lakers these playoffs.
It's the playoffs though, Trey. And I told you before on the other show, like this guy right here, when it's playoff time, like these guys' experience is going to show. And believe it or not, Danny Green had an okay night. He shot the 3 ball very well. And KCP, he just earned his right to be like the third option on this Lakers team, like the third threat on this team, because whatever they give him, whatever 3 he takes, or he going for a fast break and stealing the ball, like he just answered for them. Like big shout out to KCP and Rajon Rondo, because them 2 guys right there is keeping the LA shit of the board.
Danny Green only had 3 points last night, so he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I think he went 1 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3-point range. So he didn't really shoot the ball well last night. But watching this game, overall, like I said, the thing that the Lakers did a great job of, they really grinded out this win, Clarence. Like they really worked hard for this win. This wasn't pretty. Like they didn't dominate the Nuggets last night. It's just they played harder than the Nuggets when it mattered the most. Every time the Nuggets made a run, the Lakers would make a run. And they always, kept themselves at a distance to where like the Nuggets weren't able to grab the lead. And so that's why I give them a lot of credit. Last night wasn't a great performance by the Lakers. They didn't play necessarily bad, but they didn't light it up last night for real, and they still won the game. And I also felt like LeBron hasn't really been in LeBron mode in the Western Conference Finals so far. That probably is going to change in Game 5, but I saw last night there were times that LeBron was timid, and he was actually reluctant to shoot his jump shot, Clarence, because it wasn't falling. I give LeBron a lot of credit because he did a great job at getting to the free throw line, in last night's game. What did he shoot from the free throw line? 14 free throws. He got, the 14 times he got to the free throw line, and he hit 11 of those free throws. So LeBron knew his jump shot wasn't falling, so he did a great job at being able to get to the free throw line and hit his free throw shots to keep him, producing in that scoring department. So, I give him a lot of credit for that. So real quick before we move on, any chance the Nuggets can extend this series in Game 5 tomorrow night on TNT? Any chance it happens?
To me, like I don't think they stand in this game to game 6 because you see the domination in this series that you like notice, and to me it's like nah, I don't think they stand in this series because it's too much of LeBron James and AD with the help of Rajon Rondo and KCP that's dominating them, and I want to say like the Denver Nuggets, they had a almost a miracle season. Like I'm claiming it right now, Trey. Like they had a miracle season, and they hope this is something they like process over, like work hard and keep it going. But I think the LA team is gonna close it out tomorrow, and it's gonna be their first finals since what 2010.
Yeah. Since RIP to the Black Mamba. Since Kobe won his 5th championship with the Lakers. You remember they went up against Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and KG. You know, that was the last time the Lakers won the NBA championship. That was in 2010. Remember, it went 7 games. It went 7 games, and Kobe won his 2nd Finals MVP and won his 5th championship. But yeah, that was the last time the Lakers was in the finals. But to answer this question, any chance the Nuggets can extend this series in Game 5? There's no chance, Clarence. This series is over. I told you before the series, I had the Lakers in 5 games, and I said I gave the Nuggets 1 win because I got so much respect for Mike Malone and the Joker and Jamal Murray. Like, I got so much respect for that team. And, they had a great season this year. And the accomplishments that happened for them, in these playoffs, the things that they've been able to do, this is something that will be a building block for the Denver Nuggets moving forward. I believe in 1 to 3 years, the Denver Nuggets will win an NBA championship. I'm saying it tonight on Wise Guys. I think at some point in the near future, them and the Dallas Mavericks with Porzingis and Luka, those 2 teams, watch out for those 2 teams in the Western Conference for future seasons to come. I think Denver will win a championship at some point, in seasons to come, but it's not going to be this year. This series is over, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis will close the deal tomorrow night, and we will see the Lakers in the finals against either the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics next week. But the Denver Nuggets season is over, but they have nothing to be ashamed of because they overachieved.
I agree. I think you should congratulate the Denver Nuggets. I think they was like 3rd best team in this playoff. Like regardless whoever wins the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe like they just the 3rd best team that came up.
And in reality, Clarence, to be honest, let's be honest about it. Like the series actually went exactly how we thought it was going to go. Like the Lakers really haven't dominated the Nuggets because the series honestly is one Anthony Davis miss away from being 2-2 right now. I mean, the Lakers haven't really dominated the series, and the Nuggets have played hard. Like, I expected the Nuggets to play hard the entire series. I also expected the Lakers to be the superior team and have control of the series, but I never thought at any point that the Lakers were going to just dominate the Nuggets. I just knew the outcome. I knew the Lakers were the superior team, and I knew the Lakers would win this series, whether it be in 4 games or even 5 games in a gentleman's sweep. But the games have been close. These have not been blowouts, and that speaks to the kind of coach that Mike Malone is and the team that he has. Like, these kids are the comeback kids. They never give up. It probably, honestly, I'm picking the Lakers to win Game 5 tomorrow night. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Nuggets won Game 5. It wouldn't surprise me because they always come back when you least expect them to. Like, they always rise from the dead. Like, they are true resilient. And, like, I can't say enough about the job that they have done. But, I just think this series went exactly how we thought it was going to go. And the Lakers are going to be in the finals. But let's move on, man. Let's talk about some NFL and talk about this primetime matchup between Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson at 4:25 Eastern time on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys, 1-1, are traveling to the West Coast to take on the Seattle Seahawks, who are 2-0 on the season. So, Clarence, give me some of your keys to this matchup between the Cowboys and the Seahawks.
Woo! Trey, this is one of the 3 juggernaut matchups that is going to be a beautiful matchup. But I think my keys to the matchup for the Cowboys is can Dak Prescott get into a groove playing against Russell Wilson, because it's going to be competitive. And at this point, it's like Dak Prescott versus Bobby Wagner, and Jamal Adams. Like that right there, can he minimize both of those two players, and can he get into his groove? And my other key is which defensive star is going to step up on that Cowboys injured team. I think that they still have weapons on that defense that can stop the run and very solid in the pass, but someone on that defense has to step up. And my third one, get Zeke involved. You have to get Zeke involved. Get Zeke involved into the game so you can probably change up the game so you can have control of it. And now for my keys for the Seahawks, let Russell Wilson play. Just let him play. Like he's been balling. He's been favorable of the MVP so far this season. He's dominant. His deep pass is amazing, and he looked like a man on a mission. You both agree that he's winning the Seahawks is winning the NFC West, and I see it right here, but then I don't, because you got the Rams and then you got the Cardinals on your tail, but I think they're capable of stopping those two teams. But my other key for them is just keep the defense. Come up with another big play. You see what they did with Cam Newton yesterday? They stopped them at the 1 yard line. And this one, you're playing against an elite quarterback and elite running back, and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott find ways to slow them down and minimize them.
Okay, for me, my keys is going to be, can the Dallas Cowboys apply any pressure on Russell Wilson? Because right now, Clarence, make no mistake about it, Russell Wilson is the early season MVP. Right now on the season, Russell Wilson has 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's thrown for over 600 passing yards. This is only in 2 games. Over 600 passing yards. And this brother has an 83 completion percentage right now. Let that sink in. Russell Wilson right now is completing 83% of his passes, ladies and gentlemen. He is on a mission. And we know so far in his career, Russell Wilson doesn't have an NFL MVP like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady. He doesn't have an NFL MVP. So don't you think for 1 second Russell Wilson is not motivated to win NFL MVP this year? I guarantee it, Clarence. It's something that he's talking about every night with Sierra. I guarantee it. He's having a conversation with her about winning his first NFL MVP, because I feel like Russell Wilson, he feels like he's been snubbed. You remember in the early part of his career, when we talked about the Seattle Seahawks, we talked about Legion of Boom. We talked about Pete Carroll. We talked about Beast Mode, my man Marshawn Lynch. We talked about 3 levels before we even got to Russell Wilson. Now, this team is completely changed, and it's Russell Wilson's football team. And we are seeing Russell Wilson prosper at a high level, and he's playing, sensational football right now, Clarence. I can't say enough about the job that Russell Wilson is doing. He has been carrying this Seattle Seahawks franchise. It's similar to what Aaron Rodgers did a few years ago with my Packers. We got some weapons now for Aaron. We got Devontae Adams, one of the elite receivers in the NFL. We got Aaron Jones, one of the elite running backs in the NFL. So, but before, in previous years, I always felt like we ain't put enough around Aaron Rodgers. Now Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson's, roles have reversed. Now Russell Wilson doesn't have the help that Aaron has in Green Bay now. Like Russell Wilson doesn't have a Devontae Adams. He doesn't have a Aaron Jones. And the way he's carrying this Seattle Seahawks team, I believe it's going to be enough to win the NFC West for the Seahawks. So that's one of my keys in this game. Can the Dallas Cowboys apply some pressure on Russell Wilson, DeMarcus Lawrence, Everson Griffin, Tristan Hill, Jalen Smith, the linebacker for the Cowboys, Alden Smith, can they apply some pressure on Russell Wilson? If they can't do it, Clarence, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Dallas Cowboys, and they will not win this game. It will probably get out of hand if they can't apply pressure to Russell Wilson. Now, let me get to my second key in this game. My second key is going to be Dak Prescott. Can Dak Prescott keep pace with Russell Wilson? Because on the season, Dak Prescott only has 2 touchdowns. He doesn't have any interceptions. He's completed 66% of his passes. And I was impressed last week with Dak Prescott in that second half against the Atlanta Falcons, Clarence, bringing the Dallas Cowboys back from that double-digit deficit. Dak Prescott, I think he had like 3 rushing touchdowns in that game last week. So I was impressed with Dak Prescott last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Although I think the Atlanta Falcons choked, I don't even get me started on them. But I was impressed with Dak Prescott. I got to give credit where it's due. Dak Prescott did a good job. And I think right now Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East. I think Carson Wentz is still better than Dak Prescott, but the way Carson Wentz has been playing, I can't make that argument right now. Right now, Dak Prescott is playing better than Carson Wentz. I think in order for the Cowboys to have a chance at upsetting the Seattle Seahawks on the road, you need your quarterback, Dak Prescott, to keep pace with Russell Wilson. And my third key in this matchup is going to be, can Mike McCarthy make the necessary adjustments to keep the Cowboys in this game? I thought Mike McCarthy got outcoached majority of that game last week against Dan Quinn and the Atlanta Falcons. Although Dan Quinn completely choked away the game, he outcoached Mike McCarthy in the first half. They had a 29-10 halftime lead. So Dan Quinn, he had outcoached Mike McCarthy at that point. Can Mike McCarthy make the necessary adjustments to keep the Cowboys in this game? That was one of the reasons why Aaron Rodgers was so frustrated with Mike McCarthy when he was in Green Bay. In his final days, as Packers head coach, Aaron Rodgers got frustrated with Mike McCarthy because he wasn't very creative and his play calling was very vanilla. It was just boring, like regular. Like it had no kind of flavor to it. Like it was like you knew what was coming. It was very predictable. I want to see if Mike McCarthy can make the necessary adjustments. So those are my keys. Can the Cowboys contain Russell Wilson? Can Dak Prescott keep pace with Russell Wilson? And can Mike McCarthy make the adjustments to keep the Cowboys in a position to steal this game on the road?
Definitely. And I think this type of game right here is going to come down to the wire, which quarterback can make the big play again and which defense is going to step up in crunch time, because this Seattle team, they've been with each other for a pretty while, and I feel like they're playing with tons of energy in this game. Like they want to stop the Cowboys because they know the Cowboys is a very talented team. And on the Cowboys side, they know they want to come into Seattle and upset them to show them that they are a top team in the NFC.
Yeah. And one benefit that the Cowboys have in this game is they don't have to deal with 12s. They don't have to deal with the 12th man in Seattle. That crowd, when they get it going in these games and the Seahawks got the lead, it's hard to hear and communicate in that stadium, Clarence. That's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. So that's an advantage for the Cowboys. They don't have to worry about that crowd in this matchup against the Seahawks because it can definitely have an impact on who wins and loses. Now, let me ask you this next question. Who is the X factor in this game?
I think the X factor in this game is certainly that's a good question. I think, in my opinion, the X factor in this game is Jamal Adams, because he got traded over from the Jets, and he came to Seattle to prove that he's an elite safety, one of the best safeties in the game. If he plays a great role in the coverage and he's there tackling, even getting a sack, interception, being a pressure in the quarterback, I think he can be the difference maker in this game, because he's very explosive. He's a real nice safety that can play anywhere, and that's what you love about him, because he's very versatile on the defensive side. So I think he's the X factor of this team, because him right there is basically him and Ezekiel Elliott versus Jamal Adams. That's right there is going to be a juggernaut matchup right there. I want to see how can he play against this Cowboys team that's passing is very good, and the run.
Okay, my X factor is going to be the number one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. That's Amari Cooper. I'm calling out Amari Cooper tonight on Wise Guys on the Worldwide Sports Network. By the way, everybody remember going to follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. Catch our sports show each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Network. I'm calling out Amari Cooper tonight on Wise Guys, Clarence, the number one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Mr. Cooper, you got a 5-year, $100 million contract in the offseason from Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. I expect you to perform like a number one receiver, Mr. Amari Cooper. I expect you to show why you are a top 10 receiver in the NFL. So far this season, Clarence, Amari Cooper, in week 1 against the Rams, he had 10 receptions. That was impressive for 81 receiving yards. And then week 2 against the Atlanta Falcons, he only had 6 receptions, but he did have over 100 receiving yards, for the Cowboys. But I believe for this Cowboys team to be effective, they need their number 1 receiver to step up and make key plays for Dak Prescott and this Dallas Cowboys offense. Michael Gallup, he has talent. He has tremendous promise. We'll see what happens with him moving forward. Also, CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb coming out of Oklahoma, he can be an elite receiver one day. But right now, Amari Cooper is already universally recognized as being an elite receiver. I expect Amari Cooper to show up on Sunday afternoon and show why he is one of the best receivers we have in the NFL, Clarence. In order for the Cowboys to have a chance at stealing this game from the Seahawks, they need their number 1 receiver to play at a high level so they can be that reliable target for Dak Prescott when the game is close and things get tight for the Cowboys. So I'm expecting Amari Cooper to show up and play well Sunday. I can't hear you. Mute. You got me on mute.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's being the number 1 receiver on this team. He has to be like the leader of the receiver corps. And you see so much Bright and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. He has to pick up the slack. And those 3 right there, we actually had to talk about those 3. Talk about they could be the first trio to have 1,000 yards each since the 2008 Cardinals. Like something that right there, you expect all 3 of those receivers to make plays. And Michael Gallup, he has to pick up the pace. And Amari Cooper, he just has to get in the end zone. He has to get in the end zone, man, because he's racking up a lot of yards. But honestly, Trey, he just need to get in the end zone. And for CeeDee Lamb, I'm not expecting a lot from him because he's a rookie. He's still developing. But Amari Cooper, like you said, he has to get in the end zone in this game.
Who has the coaching advantage? Which coach would you rather have, Mike McCarthy or Pete Carroll?
Like you said, man, like Mike McCarthy did in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, he choked up in times and he wasn't very creative in his play calling or this play style. But I think Pete Carroll, you have to be more comfortable with because he can coach and he has the advantage on the defensive side because Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams, them is leaders on the defensive side. You can neutralize those guys and put them in positions and to blitz, pressure, cover, whatever. And Pete Carroll, he's that type of guy. He's the old style. He want to run the football. They got a good running back, Chris Carson. And if they want Russell Wilson to pass the ball, he's going to do that. They're not worried about him being injured. So it's like it's all in Russell Wilson's hands. But Pete Carroll is the most comfortable as coach if I had to choose between him and Mike McCarthy.
Yes. Pete Carroll is the better coach between him and Mike McCarthy. Listen, I like Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy can coach. I think he deserves to be a head coach in the NFL. But I also believe that he inherited Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So he inherited 2 quarterbacks that are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So, of course, they had, an impact on his success. Like, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, I don't believe Mike McCarthy would have had the success that he had as a head coach. Doesn't mean he can't coach. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a job. What I'm saying is he won his only Super Bowl with the great Aaron Rodgers. And like I've told people, even when he was still the coach of the Packers, I kept telling everybody, the reason why we have the success that we have, it's not because of Mike McCarthy. It's because of Aaron Rodgers. Stop disrespecting that man and give that man the credit that he deserves. This ain't about no damn Mike McCarthy. Have you saw and seen my Packers when Aaron Rodgers got injured? We were terrible. We didn't have no damn chance of making no playoffs. Once Aaron Rodgers went down with his collarbone injury clearance, we ain't had no chance of no playoffs. I told myself we were still going to playoffs because I'm a Packers fan. And of course, I am delusional. I'm a fan. I don't have any kind of, when you're a fan, you're blind. You're gonna tell yourself things that are not feasible. Like you really thought the Bengals were going to go 9-7 this year. That's not feasible. That's not going to happen. You're a fan. You make predictions with your heart over your head. I do it too with the Packers, bro. It's okay. But here's the deal. Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy deserves to be a head coach, but Pete Carroll's a better coach. Pete Carroll, so far in his career, in the regular season, he's won 60% of his games. He has a record of 135, 90, and 1. He has a postseason record of 11 and 9. So he's won 55% of his games as a head coach, in the NFL. He also has a Super Bowl on his resume. He should have 2 Super Bowls on his resume. Had he given beast mode the damn football at the 1-yard line, he blew an opportunity at winning a Super Bowl that particular season. And then they actually beat my Packers that year, Clarence, in the NFC Championship game. And so I said after that, in that game in the NFC Championship, we had at one point a 16-0 lead over the Seahawks. So I was pissed after they didn't give Marshawn Lynch the ball because I'm like, well, damn. They went to the Super Bowl and they blew it worse than we blew it. They blew it worse than my Packers. But yeah, Pete Carroll is the better coach between, him and Mike McCarthy. I'll give him the slight edge over McCarthy. But McCarthy is a good coach in the NFL.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, who wins this game? Who you got? Cowboys or Seahawks?
I think I'm rolling with the MVP here. I think Russell Wilson's going to find ways to beat him, and Dak Prescott, he's not a good person on the road to trust for real. He doesn't have a good record on the road, but Wilson, he's more comfortable. He's on fire. I think the Seahawks gonna take this game. I got them winning. I got them winning a tight. I got them winning 35-28.
Okay, I'm rolling with the MVP right now, Russell Wilson, to get the job done. And Russ, I trust. I'm rolling with the Seahawks to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I got it 30, Cowboys 20. So that's my pick. And you got the Cowboys 35-28. Let's move on to the rest of our games on the schedule. The Chicago Bears, they're 2-0 in the season, Clarence. They've been impressive so far in these first 2 weeks. They traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who are 0-2 on the season. Who you got, Bears or Falcons?
See, we discussed this game on Wednesday, saying Dan Quinn, he can possibly be on the hot seat. But I trust Matt Ryan more than Mitchell Trubisky in this game. But I'm rolling with the Falcons here because they have a quality offense that can put points on the board, but the defense, it has to get better. They have to patch up the holes. But I don't think this game gonna be like an exciting game. But I got the Falcons winning this game 31-29.
Okay, I got the Falcons winning this game 21-17. I think the Falcons, like you said, I trust Matt Ryan more so than I trust Mitchell Trubisky right now, overall. Excuse me. So I think the Falcons will get the win over the Bears. The Bears are 2-0, but I still don't believe in the Bears because I still don't believe in Mitchell Trubisky. I don't believe in Mitchell Trubisky, and I don't think he can get it done. I think he's very inconsistent. He has been pretty impressive these first 2 weeks. I don't expect it to take place, in Atlanta. I got the Falcons win this game 21-17.
And think about it too. If he wins in Atlanta, that'd be an impressive win.
Not really. The Falcons 0-2. How impressive is that? They beat an 0-2 team.
Atlanta is still considered like one of those teams that's very good, but
they're talented. They're talented.
Yeah, they're very talented, but their defense is horrible.
This is another big time matchup that I'm looking forward to, Clarence, on Sunday. We got the Rams, who are 2-0 on the season, traveling to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, who are also 2-0 on the season. I'm excited about this game, Clarence. Who you got winning this game, Rams or Bills?
Well, I already told you the Buffalo Bills is going to take the AFC East. I'm rolling with the Buffalo Bills, man. They got the league leader in passing yards in Josh Allen and actually the league leader in receiver as well, and Stephon Diggs. He tied with Kyron Ridley with the receiving yards. I'm rolling with the Buffalo Bills, man. They at home. They look like a different team from last year, Trey, honestly. And the defense, they haven't been themselves, but I feel like they're gelling themselves back into how they was last season. I got Buffalo winning this one. Aaron Donald hasn't had a sack like in 2 games so far. So I'm watching about that. How can they stop him pass rush him? I got Buffalo winning. And this one right here is going to be a tight one, 24-21.
Damn, you stole my score. I got the exact same score, but the opposite team. I got the Rams winning this game 24-21 because I believe right now Jared Goff actually is playing some good football right now for the Rams.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, he's looking like he looked that year when the Rams went to the Super Bowl. Like, he's playing good football. So far in the season, he had 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He's completing 69% of his passes. He's playing pretty well so far this season, and he completed 74% of his passes last week. He completely outplayed Carson Wentz last week. Like, he completely outplayed him. And, you know, I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing from Jared Goff. I don't believe in Jared Goff as a franchise quarterback, but I will admit these first 2 weeks, he has impressed to me because, you know, we know that Sean McVay is going to put him in a position to be successful. You know, like, he depends on that. He relies on that running game. And Malcolm Brown, also the running back for the Rams, he's done a great job at stepping up and stepping in. And now that Todd Gurley's out of the picture, you know, Todd Gurley's not there no more. So now Malcolm Brown, he's getting majority of the carries, and he's done a great job stepping up now that Todd Gurley is in Atlanta. I got the Rams winning a close one over the Bills, 24-21. Let's move on to the next matchup as the Washington football team. They are traveling to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. Who you got, Washington football team or Browns?
See, this is another good matchup too, because you got the #1 ranked defense against a good running team. And Chase Young, this is his first game against the first Ohio team in his long career. And this right here is something to watch because that defense is so amazing, though. But the Cleveland Browns have a 2-headed monster that can run the ball, that can pound it. But if I had to ask you which quarterback I trust more, Baker Mayfield or Dwayne Haskins, okay, so I definitely got the Browns winning this game because their running game is so stacked and they're gonna push the rock train. I got them winning 30-27.
Okay, you got it close. You showing some respect to the Washington football team. I got the Browns winning this game 20-13. I think the Browns, you know, they got some confidence now offensively because they put up 35 points in week 2 against your Bengals. So I think Baker Mayfield is getting into a rhythm, and Kevin Stefanski is setting him up with the play action. And Odell Beckham even had a nice game in week 2. So I expect the Browns to win over the Washington football team. Let's move on. Titans, Vikings. Who you got?
Oh, I got the Titans winning this game, man. Elite quarterback and elite running back. They're 2 dominant teams, and Ryan Tannehill is actually having a good season so far. I got the Titans winning this game in a fashion beating, like 35-21.
35-21. Wow, you really got them almost blowing out the Vikings. Okay, Vikings been struggling this year. Kirk Cousins, he's only relied on Adam Thielen. When I watch these Vikings games, I get the feeling he only trusts Adam Thielen. In order for the Vikings to have any chance, he has to try to open up the offense and show some trust in these other receivers. I think the Titans right now are the better team. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this game, Clarence, because I want the Titans to win because, of course, I want my Packers to separate themselves in the NFC North. I got the Titans winning 23-20. I'm going to give the Vikings some respect. I think the Titans win on the late field goal. Let's move on. Raiders at Patriots. So you got this is nice. This is going to be a good game, too.
I actually got the Raiders in this one. I'm rolling with them again. I like Josh Jacobs against this team. This Patriots defense is not very stacked like how they was last year. And I got them winning a tight one. I got them winning 20-17. Cam is still good, but I think this Raiders team got more juice than them.
I'm rolling with the Patriots. Cam Newton was very impressive last week. He showed me something when he had that 397 passing yards against the Seattle Seahawks defense, Clarence. He showed that he can still throw the football effectively, and he was very accurate throwing the ball. I think Julian Edelman had one of his best games of his career. Isn't that amazing? All those years that Julian Edelman spent with Tom Brady catching passes from Brady, he had one of his best games of his career with Cam Newton. That speaks to Cam Newton's greatness and why he still can throw the ball at an elite rate. I got the Patriots beating the Raiders 24-17, but the Raiders have been playing well so far this season. So I got to give a lot of credit to John Gruden and the job he's done with that Raiders football team. You remember a few years ago, Clarence, we was questioning what the hell John Gruden was doing, trading away Khalil Mack. Trading away Khalil Mack, letting go of Amari Cooper. What are you doing? We see what he's doing. His plan has developed very well, and now the Raiders have a chance at competing for an AFC playoff wildcard spot. I can see them possibly making the playoffs as a wild card. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Yeah, that'd be a shocker.
Let's move on. 49ers, Giants. Who you got?
We don't really need to discuss this game for real, but But believe it or not, I still got the 49ers winning their game with their second-string quarterback, Nick Mullins, and the Giants team. Their defense is horrible. And Denny Green is tied. Since he entered the league last year, he's been second most in turnovers. That needs to change. But I got the Giants winning this one, 13-10.
Wow. Is that your upset pick of the week? This is an upset.
No. I mean, I got the 49ers winning 13-10.
49. Oh, okay. 49ers win 13-10. Okay. I'm not about to spend too much time talking about this game. I got the Niners 17-10 over the Giants. The Giants just lost Saquon Barkley to a torn ACL for the season. I think it's going to be too much for Daniel Jones now that he doesn't have his star running back to hand the ball off to. So I'm rolling with the 49ers to win 17-10. Your Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, they are traveling to the city of brotherly love to take on Carson Wentz and those Eagles. Who you got, Eagles or Bengals?
Look, man, I would never choose against Uday, man. This is my heart and my head speaking right here. I got the Bengals winning this one in a close game, 24.
Why am I not surprised? You picking the Bengals?
Think about it. The Eagles dealt with three important injuries on the line, and believe it or not, Fletcher Cox might not play, and their linebacker crew is a mess. So I think this is the opportunity for Joe Burrow to break some explosive plays because he only got one play that's over 20 yards, and that was a touchdown to Uzomah in his first career. And that right there, we need some explosive plays. And the defense, they have to be intact against the run because Miles Sanders is a good runner. But I think the Bengals can sneak this one, 24-21.
24-21. I'm rolling with Carson Wentz and the Eagles to win 27-17. Listen, Carson Wentz damn sure better not lose to the Bengals. He damn well better not lose to no Bengals, okay? Listen, Carson Wentz, I've been bragging about you, okay? I've been on this show on Wise Guys, arguing with this man across from me about why you are better than Dak Prescott, damn it. Carson Wentz, you better show up this game. Carson Wentz, you better not let Joe Burrow outplay you in Philly on Sunday afternoon. I expect a big-time performance from you, Carson Wentz. So far in the season, Clarence, Carson Wentz has 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's only completed 59% of his passes. He has been pathetic so far this year from a performance standpoint. Not him as a person, but from a performance standpoint, he has been pathetic. And let me tell you something right now, real quick. They have to win this game, and Carson Wentz has to play well. If not, I guarantee you, those Eagle fans, they're going to start screaming, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts. The Eagles, that's a tough town to play in, Clarence. They don't play about their sports teams. Make no mistake about it. If Carson Wentz doesn't get his act together real soon, we may see Jalen Hurts inserted into the starting lineup sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's move on to the big-time, prime-time matchup. The Sunday night matchup, an NFC Championship game preview as my Green Bay Packers traveling to the Big Easy to take on Drew Brees and the Saints. My Packers coming into the game 2-0 in the season. Drew Brees and the Saints, they are 1-1 on the season. They just had a tough loss on Monday night to the Raiders. This is a game that will be played 8:25 Eastern time on NBC. Clarence, both Devontae Adams and Michael Thomas are both doubtful for this game. I think the Saints announced earlier that Michael Thomas won't play. He's already been ruled out, and it's a good chance Devontae Adams won't play either. It's unfortunate because I want to see these two stud receivers go up against each other. But give me your key matchups in this game.
I think it's one of the biggest key for the Green Bay Packers. Let Aaron and Aaron run the show. Let those guys ball, dominate, because Aaron Jones is a beast. Like, dude, that guy right there, Trey, he's a beast. Like, 164 rushing yards against the Detroit Lions. Regardless of the Detroit Lions, but this guy right here, he make you pay. And believe it or not, they're going up against a good run defense team in the New Orleans Saints. So this could be a challenge towards him. And it's on the road, Trey. It's on the road. So they can make some big noise. If they dominate this Saints defense, then we got to be really careful. Watch what we really say about the Green Bay Packers. For Aaron Rodgers, he cannot take a lot of sacks in this game. He has to play the game. He has to step up and be Aaron Rodgers. But he has his best friend, his sidekick, Aaron Jones, right behind him. That's going to back him up and help him lead the way. I think the two Aarons is going to be the main factor. But in the Saints game, which receiver is going to step up to the plate? You sign Emmanuel Sanders. You have Jared Cook. You have Trayvon Smith, but Emmanuel Sanders in this motion, this is your time to beat the league. And Alvin Kamara, that right there, he can catch and stuff, but you can't really throw everything at him. Someone on that receiving corps has to step up for that Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the thing is, one of the key matchups for me is going to be, can the Smith brothers, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, can they apply pressure on Drew Brees? Also, another player to keep an eye on, Rashad Gary Clarence. We picked him with one of our picks last year in the NFL draft. He is a pass rusher just like the Smith brothers, and he's been doing a great job these first 2 weeks at making plays for my Packers on defense. So look out for Rashad Gary and the Smith brothers. If they can apply some pressure on Drew Brees, this game could get away from Drew Brees and the Saints. I know everybody talking about Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers, the Saints versus the Packers, NFC showdown between two powerhouse teams. And Vegas, for whatever reason right now, they got the Saints favored -3 right now over my Packers. I don't know why, but they got them favored over my Packers. I think that's a mistake. But I'm worried about Drew Brees, Clarence. I'm worried about Drew Brees because so far this season, his numbers aren't bad. He got 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, completing 65% of his passes. But when I watch Drew Brees deliver the football, he doesn't have that same zip on the football that we're used to seeing. And the timing is also off with him and these other receivers. He still has that great connection with Michael Thomas, but Michael Thomas is not playing right now due to that ankle sprain. But I think Drew Brees, because that timing is off with his receivers right now, and he's not throwing the ball with that zip, I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing the New Orleans Saints offensively struggle. Because so far in the season, they haven't really been lining it up. I mean, they haven't really been impressive in my eyes. Like, you picked them to lose against the Raiders last week. I still picked them. I thought Drew Brees was still going to get the job done, but you were actually right about that game last week when you picked the Raiders to beat the Saints. So you might have already saw what I needed to see, and I saw it on Monday. I'm like, for whatever reason, the Saints just aren't clicking offensively like they normally are, at this time in the season. Like, normally we see the Saints putting up a lot of numbers and statistically leading the NFL in the major categories on the offensive side of the ball. So far this year, Clarence, that hasn't been the case. So one of the keys in this matchup is going to be, can the Packers apply some pressure on Drew Brees, and can Drew Brees, throw the ball down the field effectively to keep pace with Aaron Rodgers and his Packers offense? Because I'm going to tell you something right now, Clarence. So far this season, my Packers have the best offense in the NFL. In week 1, we put up 43 points against the Minnesota Vikings. In week 2, we put up 42 points against the Detroit Lions. Now, don't get me wrong. Those 2 teams are 2 teams that I believe are going to be 3rd and 4th in the NFC North. I don't really have many expectations for the Vikings this year because they missed Stephon Diggs. The Detroit Lions, they always have a Matthew Stafford injury at some point in the season, so I can see it happening. I hope it doesn't, but I can see it happening. But overall, my Packers offense is rolling. And Aaron Rodgers right now, he is in that MVP conversation, Clarence. Yes, if Aaron Rodgers continues to play at the pace that he's playing at, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson battling it out for NFL MVP honors. That Packers offense is the most efficient offense right now in the NFL, and I can't say enough about the job that MVS. Okay, I just need to say it. It's so hard pronouncing his name. But Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the job that he's done, as a deep threat for Aaron Rodgers. And also Allen Lazard. He's proven to be a consistent second option at receiver for Aaron Rodgers. So we don't have Devontae Adams in this game, but I still think MVS and Allen Lazard can pick up some of that slack, from Devontae Adams being out. But which running back do you expect to have the bigger impact on the game? Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara?
Well, as much as I go out and talk for Aaron Jones, but I think Alvin Kamara will have the bigger impact because he's the next up to lead in the receiving yards and running. So I feel like he gonna have more of a workload than Aaron Jones. But I think Aaron Jones can outperform him. But I think for Alvin Kamara, he gonna have to be that receiver for them and the running back that they gonna need. So they gonna need him to be. He's probably gonna play a lot of snaps in this game. I think it's Alvin Kamara because for the simple fact they don't have no legit receiver that can catch in Michael Thomas' absence. So Alvin Kamara to have a bigger workload.
Call me biased, but I'm rolling with my running back, Aaron Jones. I don't give a damn. See, you can call me biased, say, "Oh, you riding that Packers train?" Yep, I'm riding it till the wheels fall off. Damn it, my running back, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones will have the bigger impact in this big time matchup between the Packers and the Saints. He's going to have a bigger impact than Alvin Kamara. Aaron Jones has done a great job this season for the Packers, and it hasn't been all about Aaron Rodgers. It's been about Aaron Jones as well. You know, in the game against the Detroit Lions, Aaron Jones had over 150 rushing yards, and he's also a great pass catcher out of the backfield for Aaron Rodgers. The same way the Carolina Panthers utilize Christian McCaffrey, this is the same way my Packers are utilizing Aaron Jones. He is the perfect piece for Matt LaFleur's system, Clarence. He's doing a great job flourishing in this system. And he came out of nowhere. Like Aaron Jones came out of nowhere. We need to start recognizing Aaron Jones as being one of the best running backs we have in the NFL. Like because he can catch the ball in the backfield and he's very elusive. Like he does everything. Like he doesn't there's no time when you have to really take him off the field. You know, we love Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a power back. He doesn't catch the ball in the backfield, but he's a power back and he's very effective at that. But, you know, Aaron Jones can do it all. We got to start talking about my running back, Aaron Jones, has been a top 5 running back in the NFL, the same way we talk about Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey does everything. Aaron Jones does everything for my Packers. So I think Aaron Jones is going to have a bigger impact.
Look, don't start on that top 5 quarterbacks nonsense, please.
Not running back. Top 5 running back.
Come on, man.
God. Yes, top 5 running back. So assuming Davante Adams and Michael Thomas can't play, which team will suffer the most without their star receiver? Who's going to suffer the most? Who is it going to hurt the most without their star receiver being on the field?
Me? I think it will be more of Aaron Rodgers than Drew Brees, because Drew Brees, they got a lot of players they can select from. But let's think about it. Like Davante Adams has been the leading receiver for Green Bay since he been in Green Bay, and him and Aaron Rodgers, their connection is beautiful. And I hope that he can play Sunday, because that would be a big boost for them. I don't expect him to lead all the catches, but he can get a few catches that wouldn't matter. But Aaron Rodgers go miss his favorable target, Davante Adams, if he doesn't play. And like you said, you not being biased, it would probably be a bigger workload. It would probably be a workload on Aaron Jones as well, too. So if he don't have his favorite receiver, then it's gonna be a lot of workload going towards Aaron Jones and the other receiver. Because
Aaron Rodgers has Aaron Jones, it will be Drew Brees and the Saints offense that will suffer more without their star receiver and Michael Thomas than my Packers will suffer without Davante Adams. I love Davante Adams. I think Davante Adams is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. But so far this season, Allen Lazard and Marquez Valdes-Scantling has done a great job stepping up and making plays for Aaron Rodgers. I think MVS has gained the trust from Aaron Rodgers because he's made some key plays in the first 2 weeks, you know, offensively for the Packers. And, you know, once Aaron Rodgers trusts you, he'll put you in a position to be successful because he's going to throw you the ball, you know, and expect you to come down with the catch. And I think MVS and Allen Lazard, they can step up and make plays for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense. And one more thing to keep in mind, the Packers offensively, you know, they don't have to worry about that New Orleans crowd. They got one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL as well, Clarence. Like, it gets loud down there in the Big Easy. Yeah. It's hard to communicate. It's hard to communicate offensively when you're trying to communicate your play to the offensive line, to the receivers, to the running backs. It's hard to communicate, you know, in the Superdome. The Packers don't have to worry about that this Sunday. So that's another advantage for the Green Bay Packers in this game. But I think Drew Brees, you know, not having Michael Thomas, he's going to have to rely on Alvin Kamara. And I already said he's been out of sync with those other receivers on that team so far this season. I just think they aren't clicking right now. Like something's missing. But that's my opinion on that. Which quarterback will have the better game, Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees?
I think Aaron Rodgers can pull this one off, though, Trey. I think he can pull this one off because for the simple fact, I think he's more synced into the play style that Matt LaFleur is running, and he's been having time with his other receivers. So I think he can have like a dominant not a dominant, but he can have the better game than Drew Brees because Brees.
You said it right. You said it right.
Because Brees is missing his favorable target in Michael Thomas, and I think if Aaron Jones is on fire and he can catch the ball, if he's catching passes, Aaron Rodgers can have a successful game.
I'm a homer again. Aaron Rodgers will have the better game in this matchup, Clarence. Aaron Rodgers so far this season, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, completed 68% of his passes. In week 1, he had over 300 passing yards and 4 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback right now over Drew Brees. I got a lot of respect for Drew Brees and the things that he has accomplished in his career, but he has never been better than the great Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees doesn't even have an NFL MVP on his resume. I love Drew Brees. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, and he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in our generation. But he is not on the level that Aaron Rodgers is on. And Drew Brees also is, at that point in his career where Father Time is catching up to him. And Father Time is undefeated. At 41 years of age, again, I just don't see that zip on the football that he's had in previous years. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, you can tell that he's motivated because he heard all of the doubters in the offseason, Clarence. He heard people like you and other individuals on Fox Sports like Skip Bayless doubting him, acting like he still couldn't play at a high level. And all he's done these first 2 weeks is show you, hey, I'm still Aaron Rodgers. I'm still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is playing at an MVP level right now. And I'm surprised Vegas has the Saints favored. I don't know how why they have them favored. It makes no sense to me.
Defense.
Aaron Rodgers about to go
defense.
crazy. Aaron Rodgers about to go crazy Sunday in this matchup. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to outperform Drew Brees. Who wins this game?
I think I got Green Bay actually winning this one in a close game. I think this game will come down to which quarterback is going to make the play again. And I got Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees in this game because the Saints, they're still trying to find their identity on their offense without Michael Thomas. So I got the Packers winning this game in a close one, 29-23. Aaron Jones with 100 yards. He's breaking the 45 streak from the Saints that's not allowed 100 yards. I think they win 29-23.
My Packers are going to win this game. The score is going to be 40-24. 40-24. The first 2 weeks.
Oh
yes,
my God!
This will be the third. This will be the third consecutive week where we will score at least 40 points. And I think the last team, the first 2 weeks we scored 43 and 42. The last team that scored over 40 points in their first 2 games of the season, guess who they were, Clarence? It was Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos. I think I think it was 2013. Peyton Manning, while he was with the Denver Broncos, the first 2 games of the season, they scored over 40 points. And guess what? They got to the Super Bowl that year. They got blew out by the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, but they at least got to the Super Bowl. So guess what? Things are trending in the right direction for my Green Bay Packers to make the Super Bowl. And one more thing, too. We ain't really got to worry about San Fran this year. We ain't really got to worry about the 49ers this year, luckily, because the 49ers, they have been Aaron Rodgers' Achilles heel. Like Aaron Rodgers, that's his kryptonite. The 49ers, man, I hate seeing the 49ers in the playoffs. And I don't wish no injuries on no one.
Don't worry. Week 8. Don't worry, Trey. Week 8, Thursday night against the 49ers, that's something we going to be heavily covering on Wednesday for Wise Guys.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers, he will get his revenge back. But the 49ers, they have a lot of injuries right now that they're dealing with. I don't even think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play this Sunday. We know Nick Bosa tore his ACL. Solomon Thomas tore his ACL. I don't wish injury on no one, at all. But they have been Aaron Rodgers' kryptonite. And so far this season, it looks like we might not have to worry about those 49ers. And that may be a burden lifted off the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers because Lord knows they have our number. The 49ers have the Packers number. But I got the Packers 40-24. You got the Packers 29-23. Texas Steelers, what you got?
As much as I hate the Steelers, but they the only team that blitz 64%. That's the most in the NFL. And Deshaun Watson is the second worst against the pressure blitz. So I definitely have the Steelers winning this game in a fashion one, 28-17.
28-17. Okay. So that's what you got to say. I got the Steelers winning this game as well. Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans been struggling. I got the Steelers win this game 20-10. I think they're going to be too much for the Texans, in this matchup. Jets, Colts, who you got? Got 2 minutes. Let's roll. Jets, Colts.
I got Colts, man. The Jets has been awful already, and I think that they need more pieces to win with. I got Colts winning that game 28-7.
28-7. I got the Colts winning that game as well. It'll be a blowout. I got Colts 24, Jets 3. That's what I think about the Jets. Panthers, Chargers, who you got?
I definitely have the Chargers winning this game because I like Justin Herbert. He almost beat the reigning champ Patrick Mahomes. I think he's gonna be good against this trash defense of the Panthers have. But I got them winning 21-13.
I'm rolling with the Panthers in the upset in this game. I'm gonna roll with the Panthers to get the job done in LA over the Chargers. I got Teddy Bridgewater 24, Justin Herbert 14. So I'm rolling with the Panthers. This is my upset pick. I got the Panthers in this matchup. Lions, Cardinals, who you got?
Oh, I got Cardinals in this one. We're not gonna spend time on this. Kyler Murray and them is on fire. They get better every week. I got them winning 42-10.
42-10. Okay. I got the Cardinals winning this game, but I got it being much closer. I got the Cardinals winning this matchup. I'll say Cardinals 30, Matthew Stafford 23. Bucks, Broncos. Who you got?
I got the Buccaneers winning this one. I think Tom Brady gonna redeem himself. I think he gonna win this one 35-17.
I got Tom Brady and the Bucks getting the job done as well. In the Mile High City, I got the Bucks winning 27, Broncos 20. I think it'll be competitive, but I think Tom Brady and the Bucks will be too much for the Broncos to overcome. Everybody, we're going to follow the Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. Clarence, any big plans this weekend, bro?
Nah, man, I'm off for the weekend, man, and I'm hanging out watching football, brother.
Yes, sir, man. It's football. I'm excited about it. I'm doing the same. I'm hoping my Boston Celtics, the team I picked to get to the finals, can push this to a game 6. It's time to go watch the Eastern Conference Finals, Clarence. Yeah. Miami, they on the verge of getting to the finals, man. They doing a great job. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, I can't say enough about the job that they doing down there in Miami, man. And the fact that they in a position tonight to punch their ticket to get to the NBA Finals, it's an amazing accomplishment. We'll talk about them next week on the show, Clarence. You have a good weekend, bro.
You too.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.